the Facebook.
I think it's good this time. Dun-dun-dun.
And we're back.
You know what? I'm ready to apologize for my behavior last week. I was a little bit combative.
Forgiven.
Maybe antagonistic. Maybe I just wasn't as mature as
You could have been.
maybe I was too much in character. I guess you can check it, so I can check it too.
I'm checking the I don't see us on the Facebook. Somebody needs to tell me, what does it look like when someone is live on Facebook? Because I don't see it. Oh, well. Well,
Oh.
we're probably definitely live on
Yeah, we are on YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. Well, then that's good. So,
Anyway,
I don't mind. You were too much in character. A little bit more pushy.
yeah. But this time I'm a little bit more on the Zen side.
Tranquil.
And I'm ready to build you up, my beautiful sister.
Thanks, brother.
And showcase to the world how wonderful of a mother and father. Just kidding. Okay.
I'm confused. Yeah, that was a little bit much
All right.
as far as all that goes.
But
I'm excited. So
I need you to tell everybody how miserable you are.
I am so super miserable. I can't stand being pregnant. I couldn't stand it 3 months in. I can't stand it now. I'm not I love being pregnant. But I did see a video. So I know we've had this conversation recently, but I did see a video talking about someone who said that she had pregnancy body dysmorphia. So she said she was at the store and a lady came up to her and was like, "Oh, is this your first?" And that she was kind of like, "Oh, how like that was bold. Like, are you sure?" Like she didn't say this, but you know, in her brain, she's like, "I can't believe she would think that, you know, do I really look that pregnant? Do I look obviously pregnant?" And then she said she went home and she looked in the full length mirror, and she was like, "Oh, I look pregnant, but like, why would my initial thought be like?" She's like, "The lady was really sweet about it, you know, and everything, but like, my initial thought was like, can she really tell that I'm pregnant? Like, am I that big?" And I feel like that's kind of how I feel sometimes. Kind of like, what? You know?
And you're like the most pregnant possible. Like the baby could have been here last week. So like what you have, today's date is the
Today is the 10th.
10th. So you have 10 days from the due date.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah.
But Kalel came early. So that's what I was assuming, you know, Kyla was going to come early, but he hasn't. So here we are. That's okay. So now we're just waiting to see. I'm super miserable, but I do think that that's exactly what I have going on. And for anybody that watches, I did hear somebody say that it makes it easier to hear like, "Oh, the baby is getting so much bigger," rather than "You're looking so fat," you know, or "You're looking big," or anything. Like, "Oh, the baby's really growing." So we found out the baby's 7 pounds, 7 ounces right now. And the doctor was like, "Yeah, just a little bit bigger than your last one." I said, 2.5 pounds bigger? Just a little bit? More than 2.5 pounds bigger than Kalal was? Don't tell me he's just a little bit bigger. I know you've seen those 1 pound weights. 2 of those? I told her like this. I said, lady, that's a lot. I said, "I'm not having no 10-pound baby." Absolutely not. But yeah.
Well, you look great. hair all done very nice.
Yeah, that was because the other day I went to the hospital because I was like, oh, I'm gonna see if they'll just let me come in. And so I told Chris to braid my hair, and then they told me I had to go home. So sadly.
Okay, so then as a woman who's preggo and so it's called pregnancy body dysmorphia?
Yeah.
So then are you analyzing different parts of your body? For example, are you like, oh, how much bigger is my face than usual, or arms than usual, or what's the thought process like?
I think about like if I can see my ribs and stuff, or if like I can like even like fitting into my pants, because like the first time I really barely used maternity clothes at all. So it's like this time I tell myself, well, I don't really need maternity clothes because by the time I get big enough, I'm only going to be big for like a few weeks. But it's like I've been kind of big for a while now. So now I'm at the point where it's like I'm really, really not feeling it as far as like my clothes are super tight now. So I'm like, I don't even want to put anything on. Krish luckily gave me these extra large leggings she had. And I'm like, I want to wear all Mom's clothes and all of Jeremy's clothes because all my clothes, yeah, no, they're way too small. And I'm like, that's obviously. But I actually kind of like it looking obviously pregnant too, because then it's like, it was kind of like, I wasn't sure if I looked pregnant the first time. So then I was kind of like, oh, I don't even look pregnant. So it goes both ways, I think.
Yeah. So you're thinking this is the last pregnancy of your whole life?
Yeah. I did see a video of 3 boys playing pillow fight with each other. And it's like, oh, that's cute.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Then I was like, oh, maybe they'll just have to play with Salacia. Especially, I don't know. I don't want them to beat up Corzin. And I don't know if you're going to have any more. But I think it would be cute.
Yeah. It is an interesting thing to think that, like, how much bigger my son's going to be than your son's, both of them, put together, No, I'm just kidding. It is. I was like, because there's the trope of the dad or parents who always think their kids are superior or better. And it's like, am I doing that? Like, am I already thinking that my kid,
yeah, it's like bigger,
look how big my kid is than
bigger,
these other
stronger,
kids.
faster. Yeah. No, but I think about it too, like, the reason I would say not Corzin is just because, I don't know. I feel like I would be scared. I would be scared that Angelita's going to get mad.
And she'll pull out her bow and arrow and shoot you.
She'll be like, I knew he shouldn't have been hanging out with those troubled boys.
Yeah. That's why I think I need to train Corzin to be a bully early on. So that when he walks by and Khalil's over there sipping his bottle of Big Red and he slaps it out of his hand and it falls to the ground and spills everywhere. And he said, my dad taught me to do that whenever a kid is drinking things that are bad for him.
Khalil loves anything red. Kool-Aid, Big Red.
Yeah.
Actually, I gave him strawberry yogurt the other day and he was like, absolutely not, Mom. But that's pink, so.
Yeah.
Hawaiian Punch. He's a big fan.
Yes. What's the biggest mistake you think you've made thus far in parenting?
Ooh. I think I'm perfect. No, I think the biggest mistake I've probably made is not establishing a routine. Like, I'm glad, like, I don't really care that I don't have a routine for him because I don't really have a routine and we just kind of go with the flow and kind of do things around the same time, but I don't really have like a set routine, which I even told Jeremy today. I was like, I told him this morning, I said, starting today, we're going to have to start putting Khalil on a routine so that he goes to sleep at night and like knows when to go to sleep. So I said, we're going to pick a snack box, and this box we're going to pull it out every night I said 9 o'clock. I don't know if I'm a bad mom because I let him stay up that late,
Mm.
but I said 9 o'clock. But also it's because I want to sleep in. So, he goes to sleep later. He wakes up later.
Mm.
So I said, like, 9 o'clock, we're going to pull the snack box out and say, okay, here's your snack. Then we're going to, take him a shower, read him a book, brush his teeth, go to bed. So that every night when we pull out the snack box, he can start to like automatically get into the habit of, oh, okay, this is sleepy time. Because sometimes he's just running around screaming all crazy. And then I'm like, sleepy time, come here, put him down on the bed, turn off all the lights and just hold him until he goes to sleep. And it works, but it takes him a long time. He's wiggling there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Back and forth, because I still nurse him, so.
Yeah.
I have to switch him sides. So
then the schedule, that's an interesting one. So I actually was talking to a friend about their parenting story, and they were probably some of the most intense, especially like with sleep training, because some people say they start around 6 months. I don't know if...
Oh, like through the night?
Yeah, Angelina and I were discussing even the differences between what people even mean when they talk about sleep training, like different versions of it.
Like if you're talking about the position that they train in, like the position that they sleep in?
Right.
Or if you're talking about how long they sleep?
How long they sleep, or even how much do you comfort them, or do you help them to self-soothe, or the time frames. So one of my friends was telling me that they were so insistent, meticulous with their sleep schedule and the sleep training. So if they knew, for example, he slept 3 to 5 every day, and they were going over to a lunch or a dinner, like they were, and their son was in the middle of a nap, they would wait in the car from 3 to 5. Like, let's say they showed up at 3:15, so there's 45 minutes left of his nap, but they were technically at the location of whatever the event was. They would literally wait in the car for 45 minutes, whispering to each other, the husband and wife, until that time slot passed, and then it was okay. Now we wake him up and move along. So pretty interesting. There is a habit that I've thought about. I've heard people. Is there the habit of time blocking and undivided attention is certainly one that I see as infinitely valuable. That if somebody can block out every other activity and focus solely on one task, then they're going to be like ahead of 90% of people, just because focus is such a rare habit these days, and probably only worse moving forward.
Yeah.
So routine. So okay, that's helpful. It's helpful for me coming up as a parent to think about what's the kind of routine, especially in these next few weeks. Angelita will be returning to her job as a nurse, and then we'll be trying to figure out different activities or different ways that we're going to look at the schedule. And I feel like when, at least for the first portion of time, I'm going to be with him, navigating the day of saying like we can't be here all day. Like we gotta go to different parks, or we gotta be outside. I gotta get him to be able to see sunlight and things of that nature. But it can't be. Especially I think I'm going into a season. I've kind of started this where it's like shutting down a lot of distractions. Like it's like, man, maybe I should get out, like turn off all of the streaming platforms, turn off all of social. Even I was every now and then I think about like, should I really go all in? All in means like don't have internet access, like literally blocking it on all devices, and then giving my wife the password and just being like, hey, like I'm just trying to be present and read things that I really choose to read, as opposed to just let whatever news come to me.
Yeah,
But I'm thinking about it. It's always, I think it's something that's scary, something that's lonely to do it. But it's certainly, I'm thinking about it right now in this season.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a permanent thing, but it's certainly top of mind. I think New Year, you think about how can I move forward with intentionality, and I'm thinking about that.
Yeah. I also think like especially when Kala was a lot smaller, like I found myself doing a lot of just sitting and staring at him. Like, especially before he could do too much.
Yeah.
We would go outside and, like, we would do things. But especially because I'm a girl, I don't like taking him to the park alone. I don't like taking him to the library alone.
Yeah.
Well, like, I will go to the library with him alone. And I have gone to the library with him alone. But that's because it's like on a separate floor and there's only a baby area. So it's like a little bit more off to the side.
Yeah. So I was wondering if we would do things, you and I, with them, daytime or one day a week or some kind of schedule. And then so with the way the car seats would be set up, we would need 3. None of them are going to be in the front, so it would just be automatically 2 cars. Is that the?
I think so.
The
Automatically
necessity?
2, or I mean, especially in the truck, 3 car seats would easily fit in there.
On the back?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
The back seat, yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's a little bit wider.
Yeah. So let's walk through maybe a potential schedule. So even in this dream world of a routine.
I'd assume also that, other babies are welcome too. Like, if Krish wants to bring Salasia or like.
But why even need to clarify that?
All in one. But I'm saying like for us to be all in one car, I'm thinking at some point in time, somebody's going to have to get a minivan.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about all 4? All 4. So 4 car seats.
4 car seats.
A minivan.
4 or 5. Yeah, that would be enough for 3 in the very back, 1 on the side. Mom, you, me. Not mom, like, Krish, mom.
3 car seats. So I'm trying to imagine. So paint the picture. Who would be the 3 in the back?
Definitely Kalal's in the back. The oldest one's in the back.
Okay, I hear you. Then you're saying the 2 youngest, which would ultimately be Kylo and Corzin, not in the back. I guess no, it would be Kylo, yeah. Them 2.
Yep.
Not in the back.
Yeah.
And then so one parent would be up front, another parent would be in the back.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah.
But then I guess it would be changing out the car seats because we're not going to just have one vehicle with all 4 car seats in there. That seems to be...
Why not?
One vehicle with 4 car seat stands or whatever they are?
Well, like the one that we have for Kalal already has 2.
Yeah.
So it's like that one that we have for Kalal, it could be for a tiny or like a bigger one. So you can make it smaller and have all the inserts in there, make them bigger. So that way, when y'all are not there, we could just put Kalal. Or you could just put Corzin in whichever one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at that point I'm thinking separate cars.
Separate cars.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because it did make me...
But like if we were going to go see the Christmas lights or something like that.
Yeah, but that's like...
Next year.
That's an anomaly... It's an anomalous situation that you go, all right, let's go ahead and move. But even at that point, then Angelique's going to be with me. Then it's going to be like...
Yeah, then it's going to... And Jeremy will be with me,
right,
and Vanya will be with Krish. Yeah, that's true.
Unless we wanted to put the cousins purposefully all together. But that's the thing. So here's...
Maybe you and Angelita could drive then, since y'all don't party. And the rest of us will be in another car.
Well, the reason I was asking how would we arrange them is because... the older child in this context, I guess it would be Kalel, has the potential to be the bully, even if the bullying is just like reaching over or throwing or grabbing or whatever that is. So that's automatically what I'm thinking of as a protective parent. Even as we were discussing recently the past couple of days. I say, would I do anything with any friends? And like, would I pick up a friend who's also watching maybe their 4-year-old child? I think Jason has his 4-year-old daughter, and it's like, would I have Jason in the front with me and then a 4-year-old in the back with my son? I'm like, I just couldn't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
So you just think about these little scenarios you might be putting your child in.
Yeah.
Not that the kids are bad. But the potential for something.
Yeah. No.
There.
You're for sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. I wasn't like an exclusive thing, like, oh, nobody's invited or something. But yeah, you're talking about
but no, I'm saying
the optics of
like that
transportation.
Too.
Okay.
But even us,
All right, so...
But it would more than likely be 2 separate cars. We just meet there all the time. And then if we're gonna...
Yeah. or even caravan. So then, before we go into schedule, something you said earlier is you want to sleep in, but doesn't it all mean the same thing? Like, so okay, let me rewind. You said I don't want Khalil to go to sleep earlier because I want him to sleep in later so I can sleep in. But if he went to sleep early, couldn't you go to sleep early as well? Or you're saying those two things couldn't happen?
When I say sleep in, I mean I want to sleep till like 8:30. I don't want Khalil to wake up at 6 in the morning and I have to be up at 6 in the morning.
But I'm saying if he went to sleep early, you could go to sleep early, and it'll be in my brain. I'm saying the same amount of hours. You're just shifting them where they go. Or are you thinking of something different?
No, yeah, I understand what you mean, but it's like I'm gonna have to do stuff at night after he goes to bed. Because regardless, because he makes a big old mess every day, and I have to clean it up every day, every single day. So I try to clean up like when he's awake, but he takes things out just as fast as I put them in. Or maybe not just as fast. I guess if I'm going at like speed 100, he's going like at 60 or 70. So it's like 30% of everything I end up putting away stays away so that later on at night, I only have to do the remaining 70% or, you know.
Would a more militant version of a parent make him do it? Is there a version of a parent out there that could get someone to do that? I'm just curious as far as thinking.
I think and I think that it starts with making sure they know where their toys go. So like Khalil, if I tell him like, okay, put all your balls back inside of here, like he'll start doing it. And even like if he finds, because I was super scared when he used to find coins lying around, but now I've taught him that every single time he picks up a coin to go and put it into the piggy bank.
Yeah.
So it's like now he's super good about like making sure to always put the coins in the piggy bank whenever he finds them. So it's like I think it's just about establishing that and kind of like just showing him as you go. But I think at this age especially, like he's too young to kind of know exactly like, oh, when you're done, put everything back. I mean, maybe there is somebody who would be able to do that, but I don't think so.
So then it would be I guess we're back to, hey, I need him to stay up later because after he goes to sleep, I'm gonna stay up cleaning. So then, if the whole process starts early, then you would potentially not have to stay up cleaning if he was trained to clean up himself. Mm-hmm. And then he would wake up earlier, but you would also potentially be able to wake up earlier. Of course, now that you have a second kid, you might be up feeding or at weird hours. So.
I'm up throughout the night all the time, anyways. So like, the more tired Khalil is when he goes to sleep, the more he'll sleep through the night.
Yeah.
So like if he goes to sleep a little bit later, he'll sleep straight through 6 hours or 7, maybe like 6 hours. But if he goes to sleep early, he's waking up maybe every 3 or 4 hours. So then I'm waking up every 3 or 4 hours.
So what's the longest portion he sleeps right now?
Like maybe 6 hours.
And then what's regular?
Regular? Like
what's the regular amount of hours he sleeps?
Like 3 or 4 hours, yeah.
What?
But like okay, so I might be super extra spoiling him because he does just wake up and then like want to nurse and go back to sleep. Like maybe if I didn't like allow him to do that and I made him like stay up and soothe himself back to sleep, he wouldn't. And he would sleep through the night. But I think he's just so used to like up, snack, sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Is there a school of thought that you've come across where it's like you stop doing that? Is there like...
I mean, I've tried. But it's especially like it's been hard with Jeremy not being there because then it's like I'm so tired at night because I do this every single night.
Yeah.
It's like at night I'm like, I don't want to get up and have to like, rock him back to sleep, get in the rocking chair or like walk around with him to get him back to sleep. It's like, I'm so tired. I just want him to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So then I just, it's a vicious cycle. But sometimes he really does sleep for a long time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think like Cords' record right now is like 6 hours. So it's just like, whoa.
I think over the course of his life, he's probably like, sometimes he'll sleep more than the 6 hours. But I'd say like...
But you're saying Khalil will get all the way up. Like, so there's times when I'm like...
Definitely not.
Okay, let me clarify real quick. So then there's times when Corzin will be like grunting, not necessarily getting up. Like maybe it's like 3 hours, we're at 4 hours. I'm like, do I get up? Do I get him up and go ahead and change him and go through the process of feeding him and putting him back down? Or do I let it go to the point where he's not fully awake, but where he's actually crying for, I imagine it's because he's hungry. And then, of course, in my head, I'm always thinking, I'm going, well, if I let him get there, he might be overly awake and be more difficult to go back to sleep, especially if it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So
you try not to touch
I guess
him?
No. I for the most part, again, once it's 4 hours and he does anything that's like indicative of being hungry or potentially ready to change, I'm just gonna go, all right, let me go ahead and go in and help him get up, change his diaper, feed him, put him back down.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering is that pretty much the same thing for Khalil? He's not fully awake, but you're like, if I'm doing this almost as a preventative measure.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like as soon as I see him like start to wiggle, immediately I'm like, okay, let me switch these sides, and then I'll feed him.
Yeah.
And we both just go back to sleep.
Okay. Back to your whatever regret or the thing you would have done differently, mistake you've made, which is not having a routine.
Mm-hmm.
In this dream world of a routine, what does that look like? If we're gonna, what's his in a perfect world? What time does he go to bed?
By like 9:30, 9:45.
And then what time does he wake up?
Like 8.
Okay, perfect world. So he sleeps through the night in this perfect world.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could wake up like once.
Okay, so then 9 to 8. And then what's happening in the next 2 hours, 8 to 10? What's happening in those?
Breakfast.
For you and him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And some sunlight.
Sunlight.
So a little bit of playing by the window.
Okay. 10 to 12?
So like after that, we just play.
Play. And this is still the dream world. Okay, then 12 to 2?
Definitely maybe some playing outside. So we play inside 12 to 2. Oh, like at that time he would need to eat again.
He needs to eat again.
Yeah.
You need to eat lunch?
Yes.
Okay.
So 12 to 2, like so around 12. Oh no, he takes a nap too also around that time. So he'll eat breakfast, play.
And this is the ideal world. This isn't necessarily what is happening now, but it could be. Oh, there's definitely overlap. Okay, go ahead.
Ideally, at 12. Well, let's say like at 1. At 12 he eats, and then right after, he goes to sleep.
So 1.
Like 1 o'clock.
And then how long is that? How long is that in this dream?
Ideal world,
Ideal
like
world.
2 hours.
Okay, 1 to 3 he's sleeping. All right, so 8 to 10, a little bit of sunlight, playing by the window, breakfast. 10 to 12. What was it?
10 to 12.
Oh.
8 to 10 was breakfast.
Yeah.
Mainly breakfast. And then 10 to 12 is like playing, like a lot of playing.
Okay.
And then 12 to 3 is, 12 to 1, he's eating at 12, eating till 1. 1 to 3 is the nap time.
Okay, 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock, we can do anything else also. So we could go to the park, go to the library.
So,
which also could be switched with the morning time. So like, if 10 to 12 is when he's doing play inside, he could, we could go to the library at that time. And then at night, at 3 to 5, stay in.
Okay.
But,
And then 5 to 7? Eat again.
Well, yeah, probably eat again. Eat again, play.
And then last 2 hours, 7 to 9.
7 to 9. So wind him down.
Okay. So you're saying this is what you wish would happen? And so what is, and then real life looks like what? I guess how is that different from?
It's pretty like, I mean, that's more or less kind of how he does things now. He doesn't always take a nap right when he's supposed to. He doesn't. Sometimes he'll eat. Oh, like he'll eat like snacks instead of like wanting to eat like lunch. So he'll like eat a bunch of pretzels, and then I have to wait longer to feed him lunch. So instead of feeding him lunch at like noon, I have to wait, then feed him lunch at 3 because he's had too many snacks. Which obviously that's a me thing, but sometimes I don't want to argue with him. Or, you know, if mom comes in, she feeds him something, or my dad comes home and he feeds him something, or Jeremy's there, he'll feed him something, and then it kind of like throws it off because now he's full and he doesn't want to eat regular food.
Yeah. And is there a preference of him at different ages? Does it change as to him sleeping on a full stomach? Because I feel like now with the 3-month-old, it's like, yeah, like pretty much sleeping on his full stomach is pretty much what he does every single time. But then does that change as they're older where you're like, I don't know if I want you sleeping right after you eat?
I still like to sleep right after I eat, so I don't really know. Do you not? Jeremy can't. Jeremy cannot sleep right after he eats. He has to eat no later than like 6:30, 7 o'clock because he cannot go to sleep after he eats. But I'm not like that. I will eat 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then knock out right after.
Okay. But as far as what's best for children going up, you don't have a frame of reference for that.
Yeah, I have no frame of reference. I mean, of course, like Kalel often actually he's getting a lot better. He doesn't always need to be nursing to go to sleep. Now he can just go to sleep if he's tired. He'll come and lay down. But it's like ideally to get him to that point where he's tired enough to where he wants to lay down, I have to take him like to go somewhere where he can run around because otherwise he doesn't.
So with somebody who's more militant and more rigorous with their schedule and routine, probably be very precise with what they're fed, when they're fed, and then when things are winding down. So then, for example, would a more militant mom go, hey, 1 to 3, TVs are off, lights off, we're not playing anymore. So if you want to sit around if you want to be in the darkness, you can stay awake in the darkness, but we're not stimulating or exciting you with whatever running around. Is that the vision, the version of somebody who's maybe more rigorous and more strict?
Yeah. Also, like maybe not, maybe having separate areas for things. Because I know, like, I just recently have taken all of Kalel's toys out of the bedroom. So he doesn't have any more of his toys in the bedroom. They're all in the living room. So it's like if it's time for him to go to bed, I bring him to the room. And if he wants to play, he can play on the floor in the room with, what little he has in there, which he usually just ends up like going through my purse or something. And I think that kind of winds him down more because he doesn't have a bunch of toys. And I try to do the whole toy rotating thing. But it's hard to take the toys away. So, but even then, like now I have like 4 boxes of toys and I need to, switch them out and stuff.
Got it. Now, is there
something else I got to do when he goes to sleep?
Is there thought on, so where you at, I guess, would you say, so it's used the 5, I often like the 5-tier rating. There's the mom who's going, hey, we're reading every day. Maybe that's like every day and they know what they're reading. That's a level 5. A mom who never reads is a 1. Mom who sometimes reads is a 3. And then, of course, you have the 2s and the 4s that are in between those extremes. Where would you say you are on the spectrum of reading?
I'm probably on a 3. So like anytime. So I'll read to Kalel whenever he's looking interested in the books. Because for the most part, if I try to get a book and get him to sit down and read it, or like, if I try to read it in front of him and like I end up like following him and trying to get him to pay attention, but I just read it. But if he like, a lot of times he does like bring me the book, and he's like, he wants me to read it to him. So then I'll open the book and I'll read it to him.
Yeah.
And then try to get him to like name things on the page and stuff, But yeah, I don't ever know like specifically like I'm gonna pick these 5 books or these 7 books, and I'm gonna read one to him every single day, or these 3 books every day. I don't do that. I just read him whichever books he seems interested in.
I also wonder about the idea of reading adult books. Not, of course, I think about the Bible and I was reading the Bible, of course, earlier today again, and then I was thinking about there's me reading it English, there's me reading it in Spanish. There's professional voice actors who read different versions of the Bible. It's like, okay, like does that I'm just thinking about different ways to engage different parts of his brain, but I am thinking about things of that nature and wondering like what's best to help him develop. And I'm wondering, even again, part of me is wondering like and I'm sure there's value in the kids' books, but that's something that crosses my mind too.
What I had kind of seen was that the whole purpose of reading the books isn't necessarily to get them to understand what's being read, but it's kind of for them to start to understand the concept of like turning the page, there's something new. And like, that each page has information kind of. So I think Kalel kind of starts to understand that too, but I think it doesn't matter what you read to them. And I think reading just any words, I think for them just to hear them. So like reading any books that you read or any books that you have going on, just reading them out loud. There's words in books that you don't normally use in everyday conversation around your child. So those words will ultimately, I think, expand your child's vocabulary. At least that's what I believe.
Okay, so you have that. Okay, I know we are a few weeks away from Christmas. I know you have some Jehovah's Witness in your blood. But how did y'all do it last year? It was Kalel's first Christmas. Mm-hmm. There is babies in the family with a family who haven't been big on like, oh yeah, like gift exchange or whatever. Is there a thought process where again you have Salasia, Corzin, Kalel, again Kylo's likely going to be here by Christmas. Is there a thought process you even have with Salasia going, okay, like, hey, let's do a gift, or it's like, hey, it's almost like, hey, my Jehovah's Witness, not explicitly, but it's almost like, yeah, we don't really do gifts for our son. We're not really doing gifts for anybody. What's your perspective on that?
I made it a point to Jeremy. I said, I think we're probably just gonna do gifts if we do gifts for the kids, the babies. So like Salasia, Corzin, and then he has a niece and a nephew. Or, on his side of the family, there's a niece and a nephew.
Yeah.
So I was like that. Oh, and yeah. So I was like, we'll probably just do only kid gifts. I said, and then so I told him too. I said, my family doesn't do gifts. We've never been like I buy a gift for all my siblings and all their kids and all of this. I said, so we're really probably just going to stick to giving gifts for the babies. I was like, I know Diamond does like some gifts for her kids and like stuff like that, but we don't get involved in that. They go there earlier in the day and they all open their presents and they do their own thing. But that is what I told Jeremy. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Then
especially because especially because in the past, his brothers have gotten gifts for Kalel.
Yeah.
And like, we get gifts for their kids too, but.
So then at what age would the group of babies age out? Any ideas or thoughts?
10?
10?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say 10. Yeah. Maybe by the time they're able to like do their own thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting because I remember even like being a part of the church for the first time and they were like doing gifts and I got a gift and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of it's a strange thing to receive something and then not be, of course, you're not ready in that moment because you didn't know what was going to happen. And then you're like, okay, snap. I don't have anything for you. I guess I'll go get you something real quick or something, you know?
Yeah.
And with, as you said, if the siblings and then the older nieces, nephews, we didn't really do it. But then it's like thinking through how to, make people feel included and special and all that. So.
But even like, thinking about, let's say if we said we're going to get gifts for all our siblings and their kids, that's already like 11 kids.
That's wild, yeah.
That's way too many. So that's why I'm like, I'm not getting Diamond 6 kids any gifts when one of them already has a child.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That
makes sense.
But yeah, that's what I said the other day too. I was like, and then, yeah, Mom obviously is gonna get gifts. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I completely forgot about Jackson and Mila.
I didn't. I was just trying to avoid the topic because I was like, I guess you again,
I completely forgot. Yeah, I
was thinking
completely forgot about
the cutoff, and I thought I was thinking about them, and I was like, I'm not gonna forget about them.
Yeah,
but
no,
you said,
until
you
right
said
now.
babies, and it's
yeah, until it's even right now. Until right now, I really didn't think about it, but I figured Mom will do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But then you think, okay, so then naturally you're about to have your 2. Do you think, hey, I'm gonna flex my artistic skill, and do something? And again, like with 2 babies, it's less. It's more difficult. It's less time
to do that stuff.
To be able to do that. But I could think about how something like that could connect in a way that something else might not.
Yeah. Thoughts. There's too many kids. Too many kids.
You're like, let me lock up my hair for a bracelet.
But yeah. Oh. But yeah, I mean, and even then, like, I'm not thinking, I'm going to look into everybody's social media and see exactly what they want for their kids and go all out.
Is that something that happens?
I don't know how people do that.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
I was be like, hey, I'm doing candy or something. Something. But I think the interesting thing about candy and stuff like that is I'll go. You do think like, okay, is this really good for them? But
yeah,
so.
But also it's like you don't want to be lame and get them clothes, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you want. I don't know. It's so hard. I think about it.
Yeah.
Or it's even like the same thing like when we had your baby shower. And I was like, well, I looked on your baby registry and like everything was already got, or like they were out of it at the store. Yeah. So I was like, I don't really know, like, what do you think to get? So then every time I'm going to get a gift, I'm like, well, I'm just going to get them something that I would like so that if they use it, I'll know immediately that it was mine, instead of like getting something that I think they might like.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, even at your shower, I was like, it seems as though showers, there's a potential functional gift, might be diapers, wipes, and then a little bit more of an aesthetic gift. Oh, that's so precious gift, like a little outfit or little shoes or socks or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting with Christmas around the corner.
Yeah. That's also kind of why, like, I'm thinking about it too. Like, that's also why I kind of did the baby shower the way that I did this time, where we all decorated the onesie. Did Angelita tell you about her onesie? Did she show you a picture?
I thought you showed pictures of all of them.
Oh, yeah. I probably did. But yeah.
Hers was the tie.
Hers was the tie one. Yeah. So it was like super cute. And I did it that way because I was like, oh, that way every time he wears one, I'll know who did it because there was only like 10 of us there. So, and then it makes me feel good to know that he's wearing something that someone made for him.
Yeah.
Even, they all did their own kind of designs or whatever. So that's what it was for.
It is interesting too when maybe the process of 39 years or 24 years of like gifts not being extra, like, oh, I can't believe I got that gift that 1 year or whatever. Like, again, I have no memories where I'm like, oh, that gift was so special or whatever. As far as like past years, again, I remember stuff that happened at our baby shower this year, but it's a little bit different. But to think about how something could be forgotten so easily. So then you want something very small, special, maybe artistic, maybe, again, candy, a drink or something, again, a spirit type bag, like, as opposed to another gadget.
Yeah. Like a stuffed animal or a toy that kids ruin anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I don't even know. Hard to think about. I don't know about people and what they would want. So I normally just err on the side of give what I want, what I like.
Yeah.
Maybe if they give it back, I'll be able to keep it for myself.
Or then what about giving away outfits? You've done that.
Yeah.
So then talk about that, making that decision. I think it's relevant because I think it's relevant for even, again, the pod is about if our kids ask questions and if they have their kids have outfits and they're thinking about, hey, when do I get rid of them? Do I get rid of them? How do I get rid of them? There's several options. It could be like wait till a family member has a boy or a girl, wait till, or take it to Goodwill. It goes to maybe you feel some kind of altruistic, pat on your own back for doing something good, or do you take it to one of the stores where they actually give you money and then you have extra money for something?
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your thought process there?
I think it just wait till it comes up. Like I know I had all those clothes from when Kala was little, and I was thinking about like how big Kylo's gonna be at this different points in time because they're born like exactly a year and a half apart, so that's 6 months different in time of them being born. So it's 2 completely different seasons. So when Kalel was like 6 months size, it was Christmas, but Kylo's gonna be newborn size, so he's not gonna be able to wear any of the Christmas outfits, and he's born now past October, so he's gonna be almost a year next October, so he's not gonna fit into the small 3-month sizes of clothes that I have for Kalel.
Never would have thought of that.
So it's like those are the things that I think about, like, oh, I have 3-month-old clothes for Halloween.
3 months. Wow. Yeah.
June, July, August, September, October, maybe 3 or 4 months, right?
No,
so
same.
tiny size, yeah. So tiny clothes, and by next year, Kyle's gonna be 9 months, so he's not gonna fit into those clothes. So
yeah, it's like mind blown moment because it's like not even realize. I think before having a kid, you're like, I totally would have been ignorant enough to go, yeah, like, so what? They get some outfit in there.
Definitely not.
It's not work like that.
Definitely not. So.
But then you also have this other thought of, ooh, what if we have another kid some down the line and then not having...
I kind of think about it, but then I'm kind of like, oh, whatever happens. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely really don't want to get pregnant again. But I'm thinking about like, so like all like the Christmas ones that I have, I was like, well, maybe Corzin will be around that size, like for the Christmas one. So that's why I did tell Angelita, like, I have like all these Christmas outfits if you want them, because Kylo's not gonna fit in them and Kalel doesn't fit in them, and they're for boys, so
Yeah.
Silesia can't have them either. So there was that, sadly.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm thinking about like the seasons, like I have winter outfits from when Kalel was that size, and I'm scared that like Kylo's already bigger than Kalel was when he was born, so, and Kylo's not born yet, so I'm hoping maybe he's gonna get a little more chunk than Kalel was, and he'll be able to fit into those clothes that I had for Kalel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have some good ideas for Corzin, the things you could make instead of buy.
Okay.
In my head, I don't know if this is going to be accurate, but there's the stereotype of the son who's seen what the dad does with his time and goes, okay, like again, it's like the little lawnmower that pops or whatever. And then I was like, I wonder how often, I imagine he's going to see me often, going to the exercise room to, lift weights.
Yeah.
Naturally, he can't lift anything. So I was like, oh, well, his aunt Aimee could make him fake whatever, whether
Fake
it's like,
little dumbbells.
right, whether it's out of toilet paper rolls or sticks or whatever. So he can do a version of lifting. Maybe so I could even teach him technique, so that he can go through the motions and lift something. Because I'm certainly not going to have him lift any real weights until he's much older.
Aw, that's cute. That is actually a really cute idea.
Yeah, so you can put it on your brainstorming list of how to make styrofoam dumbbells and barbell.
Yeah, that'll be super cute, I think.
And kettlebell.
I couldn't think of how to describe that.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah.
But this child, I want him to come out so bad. I'm telling you, because I've been having contractions for the last, I don't know, 4 days, but like super baby little contractions. I wasn't sure that they were contractions, but that's why I went to the hospital, and then they were like, they're definitely contractions. They're just not consistent or strong enough. And I was like, what the heck? Y'all can't just keep me here.
I'm trying to imagine Kalel or Kylo having a wife who's pregnant. What are some things that we haven't discussed yet to prepare them for that you'd be uniquely qualified to tell them about? Anything that comes to your mind there?
Ooh, definitely. Oh, I can't even.
Okay. So would you want to be in the room?
No, not really.
You'd prefer not to be? Or are you more flexible if she wanted you to be?
I'm more flexible, I think. But probably leaning more on the side of like, probably not. Just because I just don't feel like it's that serious. And
what's more serious than that?
Than life or death. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, okay, so I would be devastated if Jeremy wasn't there, like for, when I'm giving birth. But thinking about it, like, for me to watch other people give birth, like,
yeah,
I could do without.
Okay, because you totally kind of need. I was thinking about this actually. Because I was thinking about what if Jeremy wasn't able to be there for you? Because at this point, he's the only person that's going to be in the room this time, as far as the plan.
Yeah.
So then you would potentially want a substitute.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
So maybe that's mom, who's your substitute, or someone.
Probably not.
Okay, well, someone.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe someone.
You need a backup.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah. Especially because Jeremy has to go back to school the 12th through the 14th.
He has to be in Austin.
The 12th through the 14th. So I'm really just hoping. I'm hoping today, sometime, maybe in the middle of the night, the child decides to make an appearance. So
you would rather him appear? Wait, what's today's date? 10th? Oh, okay. So then he'll be here today and tomorrow, and then Thursday he goes back. You would rather the baby come and then Jeremy have to leave?
It's all intense. Ideally, baby will wait till Sunday. But if it was up to me, baby would have came 3 days ago, 4 days ago, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, back to the clothes thing. I guess on my side, like I was wondering, like, I was wondering how attached I would be to certain things. Like when he grows out of his bassinet, then it's like, oh no, there's no use for this anymore. Like, or like
Yeah.
his changing table, like, and it makes me wonder, like, how long do you keep using the, like, it seems like he has maybe 6 inches on either side that kind of before his legs are going to be hanging off. But I suppose you could keep his legs can hang off while you change it. It's not really a problem, I don't think. But it does make me think about the different items that we have in our home right now that eventually will become obsolete. And unless you're having another kid, then you're like, okay, well, we have another kid coming out, so just keep that stuff around. But I was wondering how attached I would be to inanimate objects like clothing or items like that.
Yeah.
And oddly, I feel like there is some emotion about parting ways with different outfits he's worn.
Yeah, I think about that too. Have you seen where they make like the blanket out of the clothes?
Yes. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I've seen it. I've heard it because somebody asked me for one of his shirts to make one. So yeah.
Yeah. Or where they make like a quilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they're making. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's intense. Baby talk. Baby's coming soon. Hopefully, I start getting them strong contractions very soon. Maybe by the end of this pod. Hopefully.
Okay, so on the pod, have we discussed what you want your family members to do while you're giving birth?
I don't think we've talked about it on the pod. I honestly have been meaning to write up like a message that I'm going to send when it's actually time, but I have not really brainstormed it. I've just been kind of like, maybe I'll just do it when I'm in labor.
A message to everybody?
Yeah, like into our family group chat. Because I kind of like, I just want to let everybody know, like, hey, we're going to go to the hospital. Y'all can go and sit in the waiting room if you'd like, but I'm really probably just going to wait until after the baby's born to let anybody come and meet him.
Yeah. As opposed to what?
As opposed to anybody being there before he's born.
Oh, going inside. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But did you say which one would be most encouraging to you as far as people there at the hospital?
No, I don't think it matters.
So people are at home, they're like, okay, well, just tell us whenever the baby's here, then we'll go.
Yeah. I think that would be fine by me.
Yeah. And it's same. You don't have to say it online, but same hospital as the last time?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, why would I let everybody know what hospital, Derek?
That's why I said you don't have to say it or don't say it or whatever I said. To remind you not to say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I like the hospital.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, so hoping.
That one hospital that allows underwater births, got it. Throw them off the scent.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary of the pod. So
really?
yeah,
No
we
way.
started in January last year.
We've almost done this 52 times?
Yeah. Well,
Almost.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Any podcast goals for the
New year?
2025?
Oh, man. I can't believe it. Maybe to actually start to do my hair and actually decide what I'm going to wear before I get here. Or before I'm, before 20 minutes before I'm walking out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe get some of those earbuds.
Mm.
My tax money.
With your new dependent.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my new dependent money.
Yes. All right. What else do I got? Anything else you got for this week? I decided for it to be more free flowing and less
Yeah.
structured.
I do. There's something going on. Did you hear about the guy that killed the healthcare.gov person?
Allegedly, Aimee. Allegedly.
Yeah, I know. I was just catching up on Twitter. All right.
Yeah. So go ahead and contextualize it. What do you want our kids to know about this situation?
Well, I really don't know what to think about it. So the whole thing that's going on right now is that the CEO of is it healthcare.gov or is it United Healthcare of United Healthcare was murdered. And allegedly this guy named Luigi Mangioli, I think.
That's pretty good.
Um,
Mangione.
yeah, he is the alleged murderer. So, one, I don't know why. I saw somebody post like, "Oh, this Pokemon was in his header on Twitter or on whatever Facebook, and this Pokemon is number 282 Pokemon. If you go to Proverbs 282, then this is what it is, and he's trying to tell us something." And I was like, I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah.
But
I think the lesson for my son will be, I don't know. I often find myself, if there's a net value in
current events.
the news, because the verse I often think about says, think about what is true, think about what's noble, think about what is right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, praiseworthy. And like once you really talk about those 8 qualities, like very little in the news applies, and then very little in politics applies, and then very little.
Sure.
So it's like, one reason I was considering getting off of it, because I'm like, what am I gaining? I suppose I'm on the inside of more loops, but am I a better friend? I don't think so. A better brother? I don't think so. I'm maybe a little bit more entertaining because I know something that's going on. But the part of that's not as entertaining. So imagine I was completely off this past week or two. I wouldn't have known, and you would be educating me.
Yeah.
So, and then I'd still go, oh, I don't know if I needed to be. I joke with people who give me bad news. I'm like, in church, when you evangelize, you're giving somebody the good news or telling them about Jesus. So, your evangelism, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, oh, that's, and so I'll tease sometimes to friends or family who give me really bad news. I'm like, oh, thanks for evangelizing that, whatever that horrible news was, spreading the word about it. But so I'm wondering for my son if there's a net value in being up to date on current events. It's rough. It's rough.
I think it's the same value as being up to date on the newest clothing trends.
You're all about that life.
No.
Kidding. All right, what else? Anything else for the new year?
Super excited. This is probably going to be my last pod for the year. Or no, probably.
Okay, so eventually
maybe.
transitioning, so maybe finishing the book and then going to parenting books, so getting more parenting information and
that would be good.
Stirring that up maybe.
Yeah.
What kind of guests? So we could have a variety of guests from San Antonio who would, I guess, because we're contextualizing it with our kids, what type or kind of person might you want in the studio for your kid to learn from?
That's interesting.
Is it profession? Is it somebody who's accomplished something? Is it, what is it?
I don't know. Maybe someone who works with kids.
So teachers?
Yeah.
Or sometimes
I would think so maybe someone who does not rallies, like workshops, goes places and sets up workshops for kids and then takes it all down and leaves. It's because they don't work with a consistent group of kids, but they do, and they have sensory safe and child safe ways to encourage learning.
Do you think a child therapist would be more depressing than uplifting?
I don't think so.
Do you think there could be a net positive there, a net benefit?
Yeah, I think so.
And then, do you think you could be scared into
a routine,
or doing a bunch of different things, whether it's like whatever, let's say somebody who's talking about food dyes or somebody's talking about sugar or something.
I mean, I would definitely want to read their thesis or whatever they have because I don't trust anybody. But yeah, I think I would be more compelled to do one thing or another if somebody had some solid evidence that made me feel like, oh, I don't want to give him depression.
Yes. How does flossing work for kids? Do you start? Does that start immediately?
No, there's no in between teeth for Kalel. So
So no flossing.
I don't do flossing right now.
But do other people start that early?
I don't know. Maybe just to get them used to it, you could play, but really, Kalel's teeth kind of they're spread out. You know, they're not all touching. So.
But floss is between teeth, but it's all supposed to be underneath the gum line. It's supposed to be getting
on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I don't think he'd like that very much.
I can see that.
But I just scrub him, hold him down. Seen that parent hack where you face him, put him in between your legs and his legs also that way, and you put your legs over their hands so that they're this, and you brush their teeth.
Oh, cool. I like that.
It's been the easiest thing.
Toothpaste? No toothpaste.
I use, if I can find it, I'll use it. But a lot of times he takes it and runs away with it. But yeah, I use toothpaste.
Yeah.
The edible kind, though, because he doesn't know what spitting means. So I don't think he'll be able to spit it out.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about it. Yeah.
So I just brush him.
So many questions for parents.
Yeah.
Do you think Kalel would get a haircut in the new year?
Not January.
But in the whole year?
Maybe.
Nah. So you think he could have his whole hair the whole year? Be like...
No, it's not going to get that long in just a year.
It's at his shoulders right now. What are you talking about?
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's
Okay, but the back?
Okay, but the back is still only this long, an inch.
Okay, his hang time is what? Yeah, that what you're doing right now. You're saying in 12 months?
That's as far as it's grown. It's not going to get down to his waist.
This was definitely not waist. This is
the edge of the ribs.
Mid-ribs.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get that long.
Okay.
And if it starts to, then yes, he's definitely getting a haircut because we're not doing all that. Yep. Actually, speaking of, I need to cut Jeremy's hair. He's starting to look like Kalel too.
Okay. All right. So baby's going to be here. Pod in the new year. Child therapist. Child workshopper.
I'll talk to the lady from the library.
Is she engaging?
Yeah.
Wait, there's a workshop, child workshops at the library?
Yeah, for different age children. She sets up sensory sections.
Oh, does she have a website?
Oh, I don't know. I just talked to her.
Wait, so what are you going to do when you talk to her? You're just going to ask her if she makes appearances?
Yeah.
But then say okay, cool. I was just checking. And then?
No, I'm probably going to let her know right away. Hey, I do a podcast with my brother where we talk about our kids.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then, are you ready with your parable for the evening? No?
No, you can go. Let me think.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go with, I know where I'm going. What just happened? Oh, you.
Let me show you this really fast.
I see it. You're going to tell the audience what we're looking at there?
I will definitely let the audience know. Maybe that's what my parable is going to be about. I will show the audience in just a little bit.
You're going to show them on the camera?
Maybe. Maybe I'll just describe it.
All right. Let's see. Corzin, what do we got? Oh, so one of the things that it just fills me up is how much you smile. Like you smile so much. Like your mom has an idea that higher pitched voices make you smile more. So then we'll be like, "It's me, Mario," and like being doing voices and just seeing how you respond to them, and you'll like you crack up. Like sometimes it'll like be a delay, like you'll hear it and then you'll smile. But you smile so much, so I think there is. I think there's a lot of power in your joy. There's power in you smiling and you cheering people up. And I wonder if you may not even grasp the power of a smile until you have your own child and they smile at you. And but it's like it's so precious. I think it almost makes me think, hey, I'd give up anything, like just to see that smile again and again and again and again. And especially right now because you're so innocent, like there's like nothing problematic. It's not like you hit somebody and you smile, then that's problematic. But there's you're 3 months now, and it's so precious to see you smile. And so, if you're thinking about that, I just want you to understand there's so much power in you just smiling and building people up, whether it's strangers or someone at the grocery store. It does so much, and people when they see it does make a huge difference. And I'll tell you maybe one other side story is along the way. It's amazing how many people are just observing and are watching you. I know your mom and I have been told along the way is like, oh wow, like whether especially when we're interacting or maybe we're at church or we're somewhere, and then people have said, oh like man, the way somebody came back and said the way he looks at her is like they're newlyweds, and so it's something like small smiles you think don't make a difference, but they actually do, and they communicate messages in a powerful way. So I just wanted you to remember that when you're smiling with people around you, when you're smiling with your spouse, when you're smiling with your kids, and when you're enjoying their smiles, it actually goes a long way, and it's super powerful.
So, what I was just showing Derek right now is a picture of a toilet inside the toilet. Because right now, we are at a phase where, Kalel, you're sticking everything in the toilet and attempting to flush giant things down the toilet. So I'm not mad about it. Your dad gets really mad about it, actually. He really does not like you anywhere near the toilet. I get upset about it, but I'm at the end of the day blame myself for leaving the door open. And sometimes I think about that, like it's hard for me to want to get mad at you for doing something because you're curious. When I know I'm leaving the door open for you to do those things, I have made it a point to stay on top of making sure to keep the door closed. But your grandma doesn't remember things as much as normal human beings. So obviously it's going to be a little bit harder for her to remember to close the door. So she sent me a picture of her toilet, and it's filled with cups and shampoo and even a diaper. Hopefully not the one you had on today. But when I think about this, I think as your mom, I am always going to try to keep you just 100% away from things that are going to be a problem. But at some point in time, as I was thinking about, oh, okay, so, well, what are precautions that I have to take in order to keep you away from the toilet? Am I going to get a lock for the toilet so that just in case you go in there, the toilet is locked? Am I going to get like bungees for the doors so that they are automatically closing every single time? Am I going to get the child-safe locks for the knobs? But as I'm thinking about all of these things, I understand that eventually you're going to get to a point where no matter what locks, no matter what childproofing I have done on the door or on the toilet, you're going to have the toilet there. And me continuously trying to stand in the way of making sure you understand not to be doing those things doesn't help. Like, for me to push to set up all these precautions, like, yes, it is to keep you safe so that you don't eat anything that you're not supposed to, or get anything dirty, or, you know, go and then touch your toys and stuff like that with toilet germs on your hands. But as I'm thinking about all these things, I think I'm always going to do whatever I can to try to keep you safe and try to make sure that you're not going and spreading all kinds of crazy germs or eating anything nasty. So when I think about it, I think I'm doing these things because I love you, and because you are going to make mistakes, and I can't always fault you for that. So I want you to think in your day-to-day life, sometimes when are you allowing people to make those kinds of mistakes? You know, when are you leaving the door open for other people to come and hurt themselves, which ultimately hurts you, especially the people you love, or even just like strangers? So like on your day-to-day life when you're driving, are you leaving the door open for people who cut you off to make you super upset? Are you leaving the door open for anybody in your life to do something that's detrimental to you? And it's like you constantly can try to put up these barriers and put up these trials for people to have to go through in order to get to the point where they are doing something wrong. But ultimately, at some point in time, you're going to have to let people in and let people come in and make mistakes. And you have to be willing to handle that the same way that we are handling the stuffed toilet. So that's where I'm at. So love you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.